Hey friends, how's it going? Ashley, welcome to the video. Today, I'm taking you to the clone zone, which is better than the bone zone. So we're gonna do it a little bit different. I'm gonna hit you guys with some absolutely killer clone fragrances, stuff that you gotta know about. A lot of them newer releases as well, but I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of crap. Just a little touch of that the turd touch. And I'm gonna do a giveaway. So all these are gonna be linked in the description. Let's get started. With this, it's so little. Look at this, this is from Mykonos. It's called Bonfire Vanilla. And just with that name, you may have a pretty good inkling about what it smells similar to. I do love how tiny these are. They're like this little miniature bottle. It's like a little Oompa Loompa. So this one is not on JOMASHOP. Like the other ones that I got were all on JOMASHOP. This one is not. It is on eBay. So that's the spot. Yeah, or at least when I was looking, that's where it was. So, you know, you can find it there. Who knows, maybe it pops up in stores eventually. It should, because I don't know about you guys, but eBay sucks. Not always, to be fair. There's always gonna be like somebody who comes in and goes like, no, dog, I bought on eBay before and it was good. There are good sellers on eBay for sure, but there are also an unholy, unchained amount of fakes. Like it is fake central, baby, and eBay don't care because they're making that money. They're making them fees. So they will willingly let you get ripped off and they'll be like, you shouldn't have shopped at eBay, idiot. So this one smells like by the fireplace. I know, a bonfire, it makes sense now. The performance is surprisingly good. It's one of those ones where initially I was like, yeah, it's okay. But then it just keeps projecting for hours and hours, which I guess makes sense. It is an extrait de parfum according to my little bottle. It's got that nice warm woodiness, that gourmand kind of aspect to it. It does have a slight twist, so a little more spice coming through with this little tiny buddy right here. Also has caramel and marshmallow as notes as it dries down. I think also like brown sugar. Basically, they were just like, put a little more sweetness in there. It ain't sweet enough. But this stuff really, really, really nicely done. So far, good success with these tiny bottles. With the little rinky-dink Mykonos 50 ml extraits. Nice stuff. Right now heading into spring and then summer, so seasonality wise, maybe purchase is a little bit sus, but you know, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you buy stuff at the wrong time, but then eventually it's the right time when the season rolls back around and you got it. So that's why I did it. I'm thinking 2 seasons ahead here. That's big brain. Next up, this. So this is Maison Asrar and it is called Libre. And this is the most questionable presentation to me. Now, this is not one of the bad fragrances. This is not one of the bad ones. It smells good, but like, I'm being serious here. With this presentation, like, does this look like a feminine leaning fragrance to you? You can be honest. It's like a pearlescent finished bottle with little birdos all over the place with this sort of cut design here. I know there's gonna be somebody who's like, look, man, fragrances ain't got a gender. And that's true. My fragrance does not have genitalia. It is just a bottle. But think about this, if you were in a store, just any old Sephora, Ulta, whatever, it doesn't matter, and you saw this sitting there on the counter, would you think, oh, that right there, that probably smells like Stronger With You sandalwood? Or would you think, that is gonna be a fragrance for the ladies with a big old blast of powdery florals? Because I can tell you which one I would think. So as I mentioned, it is a dupe of Stronger With You sandalwood. And there's one more thing you need to know about this one. It does the classic trick, or at least this one did for me, of you spray it on the first time after you pull it out of the box and you go, that doesn't smell like a whole heck of a lot, because that's what it does. It does the old trickaroony where you spray it on and initially you think that's weak, man. There's not a bunch to that. It just smells kind of like aroma chemically woods. Yay. So that's when you do the age old, oh cool, I'll just come back to you, buddy. And after you do that, way better. And it actually does a great job of capturing that Stronger With You sandalwood, which has become much more popular here lately. There have been a number of different fragrances that have come out that have kind of been in that style. I think most of the bigger clone houses have at least one now at this point. This stuff is, though, top notch once you let it sit. It leans into that woodiness a little bit, but still has that stronger with you DNA coming through very clearly as well. Quality is actually extremely high for the price point once you let that just settle and chill, but that is such a mismatch as far as when I look at it and then what it smells like. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, but like, it looks like a lady's pistachio floral scent. Now this next one is for the ladies, and it's this right here. It is Panache Angel Dust by Codlage. Can't wait for them to come out with their new one, Panache Crystal Meth. I think I heard through the grapevine they were gonna come out with Codlage Island MDMA, so that one should be good too. But for now, we have to make do with Angel Dust. And this is one of the ones that I find a little bit sus if you are a guy. So this one was getting mad hype, had to scoop it up. I'm a moron. This is extremely feminine. 95% at least of guys are not gonna want this, of course. Smells similar to YSL Libre, or depending on how you pronounce it, you know, I've heard Lib. I'm gonna stick with the butchered Libre. But it is not the standard, it is Vanilla Couture. That is the flanker of that specific line that this smells more similar to. So yeah, powdery florals, vanilla. It is not to my taste. No thanks. I do like the name though. Check it out, it's the new Nitro Gold by Dumont. This one also really interesting in the sense that it was announced like 3 or 4 months ago. It was announced a while back, and I think they were like, advertising it, and I recall that it was supposed to come out in like December or something, and it didn't. So I forgot that it even existed. I think there were other Nitro fragrances too that were supposed to come out, but I don't know, man. It did finally release though, so I guess it does exist considering I'm holding it in my hand currently. And this one is kind of intriguing. So to me, it is doing something somewhat similar to how Nitro Red did something. Not that this smells like Nitro Red, it doesn't, but what I mean is it's sort of a twist of like a couple fragrances put together in such a way that it starts to become its own thing. So this one smells like Valentino Uomo Born in Roma, the original, if you mixed it with a little bit of Millesime Imperial, which is possibly popping into my head because of this bottle color, but that's what I'm getting. So you get a bit of that bubblegum type of sweetness like you're gonna find in Born in Roma, which smells kind of similar to Invictus, which, Nitro Red smells kind of similar to Invictus Aqua. But yeah, you get some of that here, so yeah, maybe it actually does have a little in common with Nitro Red in a roundabout way. But like I said, you get some of that bubblegummy freshness mixed with minerality from Uomo Born in Roma, the Eau de Toilette, and then you have a little bit of that Millesime Imperial kind of sprinkled over top. A lot like Nitro Red has mainly that Invictus Aqua kind of vibe with Baccarat Rouge 540 sprinkled over top. So a similar kind of idea, as is the usual with most Dumont fragrances or Nitro fragrances. The versatility is there, that potential complement factor is there, performance is there. It is strange how this one came to be as far as like the whole announced, but now it's not here, but maybe it will be, but now it's not, but now it is. That whole thing, a little strange, but the fragrance itself, really, really good. I could see this one kind of, you know, battling back and forth with Nitro Red as far as the whole, which one should I get? Because you would use them in kind of the same times. Really good though, smells great. Swiss Arabian Tobacco 01. Now I have to say, they came out with Patchouli 01 recently, and I did kind of like a haul video where I smelled that one for the first time, and it was confusing. Let me grab it actually. Yeah, this one right here, Patchouli 01. So like I said, it was confusing. I've not smelled this since that video, so let's have another whiff. There's no patchouli. It's called Patchouli 01. It's in this bottle, this green bottle. Actually, it smells kind of like a sweet, fruity twist on like a Myself Prada Paradigm type of vibe with an emphasis on that sweetness, like kind of overly candy syrupy. But yeah, very confusing, this one. Tobacco 01 actually has like tobacco, and I like it more. Yeah, this stuff for me is superior. Like between the two, if I were gonna grab one, I'd grab this one. A little bit side effect-ish, the way that the tobacco comes across. You know, it's got some of that syrupy sweetness, but actually not as heavily as side effect does. And this one smooths out more as it dries down. It doesn't kind of keep aggressively pounding you with that sweetness. Also, you could think of it like a vague mix of side effect with Tabacalure by Christian Dior. Not the same as either of those though. It's just kind of like in that wheelhouse. So if you like either of those, you'll very likely enjoy this one. I think this is really, really good. Like I said, I'd take that over to patchouli. That doesn't even have patchouli in it. What are you talking about? You can't call it that. It's like, hey bros, check out my new fragrance. It's called Iris 01, but it ain't got no iris in there. It actually smells like Sauvage. Go F yourself. Oh, thanks, bud. Arsh. Think straight. This is French Avenue. This one also gets better with age. Just a little bit of age, much, much nicer now. And this kind of smells like, L'Eau Medial cologne. Also could remind you of Platine Privé, but that's because Platine Privé probably will remind you of L'Eau Medial cologne. So you see how that just all kind of goes together? Color-wise, it's more L'Eau Medial cologne. Now, there is the new Cologne Forte in that line, which also is a little bit similar to those fragrances I just mentioned, but that one's limited and it's actually already getting a little bit harder to find. Knock on wood, hopefully you can find it for a while later, but this right here though, fills in admirably. As I said, when I first got it in, it was fine, but not really anything to write home about, but it has aged gracefully and smells much nicer. Now, it's gonna get you right in that wheelhouse of Platine Privé or L'Eau Medial cologne without having to pay the jacked up prices because they have been discontinued. Spring, summertime, absolutely excellent. That's a good one. Velixer Apollo. This is Chariot. No, it's just Apollo. 45 bones at JOMASHOP. Unless you use this code, blah, or this code, blah. I have multiple codes for JOMASHOP. You can use those to save money through JOMASHOP's app anytime you shop there. But I'll tell you what, these codes are even easier to use. FragFlex, 10% off anytime you shop there. Use that code 10 million times. Don't matter. You can use it every time you shop there. Easy 10% off, brothers. Also got codes for the perfume box, for Beauty House, and more. And I would be remiss if I did not say, my new fragrances are out. I creatively directed these. French Quarter, Arashi Reef. Arashi Reef, perfect for spring and summer. This stuff is a tropical bomb. Papaya blossom, passion fruit, tangerine, coconut wood, coral reef. Yeah, it's got that too. Women absolutely love this stuff. It smells like in the same family as Herba Pura, and I am biased, but I like this more than Herba Pura. It doesn't smell the exact same. It's just kind of like if you like that one, you'll probably like this one. And if you're like me and you don't like that one, you'll like this one. I'm biased though, for real. French Quarter, this one right here centers around a Sazerac accord. So rye whiskey with sugar cube, a little bit of bitter orange off the top. Also has cinnamon in here, ginger, and vanilla. It smells amazing in the air, commands attention, great for evenings, fall, and winter. Those you can find at every Perfumania and fragrance outlet in the country. Stop in, check them out, smell them, you know, wear them, whatever. Just take their bottle and spray yourself, walk around. You can also buy the full-size bottles at Michael Malil's website. We also have 10 mils, so you can buy the old 10 mil and try them out instead of buying the full-size bottle. Try to give you a bunch of different ways that you could get your hands on it without having to just, you know, full-size or die, basically. So here we go. Look at this. It's like a bag. This is a Rabiat Prestige. It feels so weird. My Hermes clutch. This is a Rabiat Prestige Moda High End. That means it smells expensive because it says high end right on the bottle. I skipped Apollo. I'm going back to Apollo. Apollo, it smells like Y Eau de Parfum. So that is one part that you may say, well, that's sus, my guy. Why would I want to spend 45 bones for that? And I would say, it's up to you. It's your choice. It does, though, smell excellent in terms of the quality of the fragrance. The performance is solid. It melts that freshness and sweetness that Y does so well. I would say of the entire Velixer lineup that I've gotten my hands on so far, that maybe some of the other ones I would rock with because of the value proposition more. But in terms of just straight up usability year round, this is top notch. It's up to you though whether the price difference makes sense between YEDP and Apollo. I will say though, compared to say Fakar Black from Lattafa, that one is way more affordable. But if we're just talking straight up which one smells better, it's this one. Back to this. So this one right here, to me, smells a little bit like Louis Vuitton's Imagination. It has a really similar vibe as far as like all the citrus that you get off the top with the tea that's in there as well. But it smells like Imagination with the twist, so it's not like a one-to-one. Let's give that a blast as well. Such a weird cap. Ooh. Yeah, just a massive, big old blast of citrus. But absolutely not the same. Not a one-to-one, like I said, with Imagination. It doesn't have as much of that creamy facet that some of the other Imagination dupes can have. And as it dries, it gets a little more of a floral kind of feel to it, and stays very clean. Green as well, it gets a green aspect. Some people have compared it to Velvet Infusion by Dolce & Gabbana, but I gotta say, I have not smelled that before, so can't tell you if it's super close to that or not. Looking at the note breakdown though, it is highly possible that it is supposed to be that. Unfortunately, like I said, I haven't bought that one. I haven't bought a Dolce & Gabbana Velvet fragrance in years. Now this next one is French Avenue 8th Wonder. And this right here, it is gonna be for a particular person. The opening is strong, yes. It is very ambery, sticky, syrupy. There's dates in here, which comes across pretty strongly. There's a boozy note, lots of resins. Like I said, like sticky, heavy, sweet, and not dankness, but it has like kind of a wallop to it where, you know, some people I've had smell this and myself, you know, you catch a big whiff and you're just like, ooh, I don't know. I would never in a million years wear that in spring or summer. That is like late fall, winter, pretty much only. It just hits really hard. It is not something that I think a majority of people would really rock with. I think that it's for a very particular person, kind of oud cadenza-ish. The Coco Morado that they put out also is like oud cadenza, but between this and Coco Morado, I think Coco Morado is more easily worn. So this one, I would just say, you know, majority of people are probably not gonna really mess with that. I'm not saying nobody is, but Pharaoh Rehan. Now, they put out two at the same time. I have not gotten the other one yet, but I have gotten this one. And this one smells like Oman Luxury Caden. So that is the scent that this is modeled after. And this one also packs a pretty good punch, but it is, comparatively speaking, much easier to pull off. It has an interesting note breakdown. So it has coffee in there, it has vanilla, it has cardamom, suede leather, gaiac wood, saffron. Did I say saffron? I don't know. The leather comes across pretty strongly. Like right off the rip, you can pick it up. As I said, a suede leather. It does have kind of like a black leather tinge to it as well. It's got a nice kind of fizz to it, you know, a nice little effervescence. Performance slaps. It lasts a long time, projects heavily, like that one. Just it's smoothed out more, less aggressively pushing with that deep, sticky, syrupy aspect, which makes it come across classier as well. This one is good. Noir Absolute by Rabiat Prestige. And this right here, you'd actually think it's darker than it is. You know, you look at that and be like, dang, man, what did that right there? Valentino Uomo Intense Dior Homme Parfum. Well, actually, they did do a Dior Homme Parfum in a bottle, kind of like this. The new Dior Homme Parfum, not the old one. Gotta do the old one, come on. But this is Forever Wanted Elixir. So like I said, Forever Wanted Elixir, that's what this is. And it does a darn good job at capturing that scent profile. It maybe has like a tiny touch more of an aromatic feel when you first spray it on, but not that big of a difference. It also has that raspberry note that you pick up right away. It has the nice leather as it dries down. Longevity is great, projection is great. This stuff is fantastic. Rabiat Prestige killed it with this one. And between these two, I like this one more. Not that that necessarily matters, they're completely different, but I like this one. And then check this out, Armaf, the pride of Armaf Admiral. It's so much the pride of Armaf that they don't really care about it that much, I don't think, actually. But this stuff is low-key, really, really nice. What it smells similar to is a fragrance that you wouldn't really think of with the name Admiral, but you know, who cares? I've seen and heard weirder things. So it smells like Invictus Victory Elixir. Yes, the fragrance that pops into your mind when you think of an admiral out in the middle of the ocean at the head of his ship, a vanilla bomb. That doesn't ultimately matter though, because this stuff rips. It's like 25 bucks. At the price, it's a steal. The quality is there, performance is there, and it very well may be the best Invictus Victory Elixir dupe out there for 25 bucks, just with a goofy name. Rules though. All right, let's do a giveaway. So I got this right now. This is from Armaf. That's a pretty big presentation. SHK2. So I got two of them. Here's this one. I opened the other one. It has a magnetic cap. It's not like super strong though, you see that? And that one kind of smells like Oud Satin Mood. So it's gonna get you in that vibe. And then I got this Aristo. So this is Rabiat Prestige. And it's like a little bit ripped, came that way. I haven't opened it, but just it looks like I have, but I haven't. This one is Ingenious Ginger. So you could rock this one spring, summer, rock that one fall, winter, if you wanna be a classy boy. If you wanna be entered in the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a comment and let me know what you feel is a fragrance clone that's better than the original. Also like the video, be subscribed to the channel. If you are selected with random comment picker, it'll be a post on the Post Heaven YouTube channel. It'll be with a bunch of other winners. I batch them out all at once. And hit me up and I'll ship those out to you. All right guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Good luck with the giveaway. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.